Gurb míle mágat, Roderick. A cardja glass. It is almost 5 years since the last general election. Here we are, greeting a new year, an election year, and thanks to the resilience of you, the members of the Green Party, we have survived. It is wonderful to see you all here today. You are the heartbeat, the lifeblood, the nerve centre of all that is good about our party. Yes, we have survived, proven to be much more resilient than some might have thought. And with the upcoming election, the party will be entering a new phase, a new golden opportunity which we must seize. And in relation to resilience, each and every member should be proud of their own resilience and the part they played in putting the Green Party back on the local government map and on the potential cusp of a return to Dáil Éireann. I'm advised it is sometimes dangerous to single out individuals for special mention, especially in a party like ours, which has been driven by near-heroic never-say-die volunteerism over the past 5 years. But it would be remiss of me as your deputy leader, as we bring to a near close this 5-year chapter, this gruelling but exciting 5-year module in our party's history, not to mention 2 people whom I've worked very closely with in these 5 years, who have given their all, always putting the party first. Our party chairman, Councillor Roderick O'Gorman, and our leader, Eamon Ryan. Members, we cannot contemplate 5 more years in the national political wilderness, although, ironically, in those challenging, soul-searching years, we have found an inner strength that we scarcely knew we had. We must use that strength now to march forward onto the next stage of the recovery, and top of the priority list is to return and restore a much-needed green voice to Dáil Éireann. We are proud to say today that the Green Party Comhaontas Glas is a force to be reckoned with in the upcoming general election, running a candidate in all 40 Dáil constituencies, from Mizenhead to Mallinhead, from Galway Bay to Dublin Bay. 40 fine candidates fighting for and standing up for the next generation, for our children, articulating a clear voice in this, the centenary year of 1916, that we have to cherish the children, all the children of the nation, to safeguard their futures against the destructive and corrosive effects of climate change and greed-fueled economics, which does not and has never put people first. The Green Party is acutely aware of the duty of care owed to all children, to do our utmost to safeguard their happiness, their well-being, their quality of life, their futures. That is why I joined the Green Party shortly after the birth of our first child. I wanted to translate words into action, to do what I could do to deliver a safer, fairer, more equal and better Ireland. Like many other people here, I was never involved in party politics before, but I found an instant and welcoming home in the Green Party, which resonates with issues which really matter. Because the Green Party cares for the next generation, is fighting for the next generation, and we, as individual members, pooling our resources and common goals, can and will make a difference. One vital place where we can make a difference for our children is in our schools. As the party's education spokesperson, as a teacher, and as a parent, I notice a huge disconnection between what happens in our schools and what matters most about life. What do we want for our children? When you think about it, what matters most is that they are healthy, happy, and resilient, and reach their true potential. Many children achieve impressive results in the Leaving Certificate, but remain shortchanged when it comes to the things that matter most. Our young people's sense of self-worth and self-belief are often so fragile that they shatter at the first crisis. According to the World Health Organization, depression is 10 times more prevalent than in the 1960s. The average age for depression, for the onset of depression in the 1960s, was 36. It is now 14 years of age. Research from the world of positive psychology indicates that a key factor in enhancing and sustaining happiness is identifying and tapping into inner strengths. We need to incorporate within our education system a mechanism for assessing children for their unique strengths. Rather than having our children trying to fit into a curriculum, the curriculum needs to be a better fit for our children. Schools should be empowered with the facilities and resources to assess children for their inner strengths, knowing that when children tap into them, they will walk taller, they will learn better, and be happier inside. Happiness has a key role to play when it comes to the workplace. It's the happier employees who experience greater satisfaction, last longer in their jobs, and are more loyal to the work they do. Studies also confirm that they are crucially more productive. Many of the successful multinational corporations legislate for happiness among their workforce because happiness pays. There is also a direct correlation between happiness and health. Happier people live longer and encounter less disease and disorder. We need to put happiness on the state curriculum. Our young people's sense of well-being should be at the heart of education. The Green Party will dedicate itself to establishing a task force to explore and to engage with the experts from the world of positive psychology within Ireland and abroad, in the knowledge that developing and implementing such interventions and programmes will be of critical benefit for our children. Similar initiatives are delivering superb results in countries like New Zealand, Australia, America, and closer to home in the UK. Life is an imperfect journey. The reality is that challenges, setbacks, and misfortunes are inevitable for everyone. Resilience is the ability to adapt to the challenges of life. Resilience is a life skill that needs to be taught in all our schools. Our children need to be ready for challenges and to have the toolbox of skills to cope in crisis. The Green Party is a party of innovation, a party as passionate about prevention as well as cure. And that is why we want our education system to incorporate in a meaningful way the teaching of resilience and mindfulness to our children. Yes, the Green Party is standing up for our children, all our children. A party seeking equality of access and opportunity in education for each and every child today. The Green Party wants to see an immediate end to the practice of discrimination against pupils in the school admission process on the basis of religion. Religious discrimination has no place in modern society. All schools in receipt of state funding should be fair, transparent, and inclusive in their admission policy. Discrimination on the basis of religion would not be tolerated in any other walk of life, and the education system should be no different. How can it be fair that a child who lives right beside a school and has their name down first on the admission list can miss out on a place because they are not the preferred religion? Of course, there is a place for freedom of religion and religious schools in Ireland, and this should be both recognised and respected. but not in an exclusive-only way. Taxpayers' money should not be funding discrimination. We need to reform fundamentally the school admissions practices in all state-funded schools. Members, election campaigns offer an opportunity to consider the type of society we want to live in and be part of. For the current government, protecting the environment has always been a vague aspiration, an extra, rather than a core policy priority. But environmental issues are not a separate box of problems politicians can take out and discuss at election time. Unlike climate challenges, elections come and go. Political parties should be judged by track record and actions, not by their words at election time. Climate change is a huge issue for us, but much of the coverage we see highlights the threat rather than what we can do about it. We need to change how it is framed in the public debate. That type of coverage risks creating a sense of hopelessness. In fact, there are no shortage of ways to address climate change. What we need is real leadership with vision, promoting the green message. The green message is one of social justice and is not solely focused on renewable energies and emission reductions. Many inequalities in our society are caused or have a direct link to climate change. Achieving real equality in our society is essential because often those who are hit hardest by the mismanagement of environment are the poorest and the most vulnerable in our society. In the long-term vision of Ireland, we need environmental solutions and a fairer, more equal society to be all interconnected. In the absence of proper and prioritised information nationwide about the intrinsic values and win-win benefits for all of the environmental message, together with insufficient education programmes in our schools, the message has unfortunately been allowed to further slip from the national agenda. The government occasionally talk the talk, but never walk the walk. There is no room for ambiguities, juxtapositions, or political somersaults. In an interview given by An Taoiseach, directed to his audience back home in Ireland, moments after addressing the leaders of the world at last month's conference in Paris, Enda Kenny, like the cow who kicked the proverbial bucket of milk, in a crafted use of language that would outshine Sinn Féin speak, delivered a very different message, undoing any good in his earlier speech by immediately talking about special treatment, status, and derogations for Ireland. The stark reality is that this government, this current government, which should lead both the debate and provision of solutions, or at the very least, create the set of circumstances to allow solutions happen, seems content to sideline the message, perhaps coming to the conclusion that there are no votes in it. The truth is this message is infinitely much more important than any election. And RTE, as the national broadcaster, has a duty to ensure that an issue like climate change is consistently and properly given the prominent coverage it justifiably deserves, and although welcome, not only at times like the conference in Paris. Interestingly, the national broadcaster appears to take balance extremely seriously when it comes to offering the climate sceptic viewpoint significant allocation of time and debates, despite the fact that the overwhelming majority of world scientists have at this stage put that scepticism to bed. It is a little strange, then, don't you think, that the same national broadcaster, which apparently cherishes balance and fairness, plans to exclude our party leader from their upcoming key election debate, which will involve up to 7 other party leaders. Perhaps RTE has momentarily forgotten their statutory and constitutional obligations, with even the recent severe flooding which convulsed the nation, failing to have reminded them of this party's long track record and relevance on this and many other issues. I have spoken to many members here today, and I'm very conscious of the concerns in relation to this. I can assure members that we will not let RTE forget. Individual members will do their level best to ensure that RTE adjusts their leaders' debate format as currently proposed, so that it will be truly inclusive, impartial and balanced, and include Eamon Ryan, the leader of the Green Party Coentas Loss. Eamon Ryan, the next new Green TD for Dublin Bay South. Members, we need a Green voice restored to our national parliament. The Green Party Coentas Gloss is needed to be a strong voice in the next Dáil to defend, protect and promote our native tongue. The Irish language could be all but extinct in a generation if action is not taken. Research has shown that of the 155 electoral divisions in the Gaeltacht, only 21 are communities where Irish is spoken on a daily basis by 67% of the population. We have reached breaking point for language survival. Is lin illig an Gaelga. Ca this Gaeltacht an látá nu? Áit physical, no mion agna. A carja, is gá go make an gá chun cap seo fitse fuche lena céile. Céad blin tar éis airí amach na cosca, tá an Gaeltacht I mhaol. Caffar mion agna na teanga a chéimhnú agus a cushiont dar páistí agus don taucí. Má cailimid ar masta teanga, béimid calse mar náisiún. Members, our country cannot afford a new Dáil term without a Green presence, where further inaction on a whole range of Green issues could have disastrous consequences for generations to come. Politicians need to lead with vision and not with populist platitudes. This is where the Green Party has a crucial role to play. We have that vision. We do not participate in populist platitudes because there are no solutions in populist platitudes. Yes, some political commentators may have underestimated our resilience, our determination to restore those much-needed Green voices to Dáil Éireann, and therein lies their mistake. I look around me here today at the members who have kept this Green battleship afloat, at the many new members, and I see 40 fine candidates who will run in each constituency. I say, underestimate us at your peril. Knowing what's at stake, not as much for our party, but crucially for our country, for our children. We owe it to them to give this imminent general election campaign every last ounce of energy we have. Let's pound the pavements. Knock on every single door. Reach out to family and friends of friends. Ask for those #1 votes. Let us put honour, transparency, innovation, decency and good stewardship at the heart of governance. The time has come to restore those much-needed green voices to our national parliament. It is time to return to Dáil Éireann. This can be done. This will be done because we are ready. We are able. Watch out. The Greens are back.